The Way in Divine Metaphysics. Hello, I'm Sarah Fagnoy, whose birth name is J.D. Tarrant. If I were to ask you, what is always and everywhere real and true, what answer could you supply? Any answer to this question concerning universal and eternal truth belongs in the field of thought and inquiry known as metaphysics. If your answer were God, then a fuller and more complete answer should be called for, and any possible answer we would then call divine metaphysics. It is not a religion, but rather a discipline which encompasses the approaches to this question taken by all religions, through rational metaphysical philosophy and through science, though it may also include that which has formerly been known as magic or divine miracle. The search for what is always and everywhere real and true has always been the human race's ultimate concern. After a lifetime's research, including university study at the Australian National University, I have written this book, The Way in Divine Metaphysics, which concerns humanity's wisest answers to the metaphysical search, a study of global enlightenment. Let me walk you through it. In many religions, philosophies, and disciplines of spiritual growth, a way is spoken of with quiet reverence. It is firstly a path, a discipline, and a code of conduct, not in intention an artificial way devised by men according to the culture of their time and place, but framed around an awareness of ultimate reality, of the way things are. The way, revealed through the divine order, accessed by mystics and contemplatives who have studied the divine order, experienced enlightenment or divine inspiration. To understand and describe the way things are in universal terms is the goal of metaphysics, and such meaning and purpose that this brings to human life expresses an ideal way for human individuals to follow. This current work is a study of the many human expressions of the way, not a study of the many purported truths of man and the many ways based on it. It is my aim to reveal that this is so, that there is a way, a divine and natural way which runs as a common thread through the thinking of many peoples in the world at different times in history, subject to a developing understanding and passing through different phases of human awareness. There can only be one truth about the existence of beings in the world, though it finds different expression in different cultures and languages. One ultimate and divine truth, for if not, there would be nothing worthy of the name truth. It is this metaphysical standpoint which underlies this study. Metaphysics is the area of philosophy which concerns what is ultimately real and true, that which is always and everywhere real and true, not simply case-specific knowledge. Any claim to truth implies a metaphysical claim, and all completing claims to universal truth from religion, philosophy, and science can be viewed side by side and examined in the field of metaphysics. Any Christian would say Christ is the way, and they may indeed be right, but Christ as Logos and Mind of God should have had access to all wisdom, human and divine, and stood at a pinnacle of growth in divine awareness. To say or imply that Jesus would have been unaware of the wisdom of Taoism, for example, is to deny that he participated in God's greater eternal and omniscient awareness. All world religions and philosophical traditions leading up to his advent may be seen as forming the true Old Testament to this world Saviour. This is the context of the current study, which deals with many of the world's most significant religious and philosophical traditions leading up to Christ and beyond. I have been selective in the material presented to point out recurring themes and to focus on the golden thread which is the way. However, I have also tried to highlight differences which are often important and should not be glossed over. This is a very concise introduction to the world's pearls of wisdom, which I hope will inspire others to further research, but more importantly to greater and more universal awareness. The name metaphysics derives from a section of the works of the great philosopher Aristotle. In these works, which concern universals and first principles, he speaks of a divine science, a science of the mind of God, being such a science that God alone could have, or God alone before all others. The mind of God or Logos concept in the history of ideas is one theme of this work. For seen in these terms, it is the Logos which regulates and determines the way. This work is a study in worldwide metaphysics. It presents and introduces all the world's most significant wisdom traditions and religious philosophies. In the book's later section, I introduce my own metaphysical philosophy of equipoise, which can then be seen against the backdrop of its inheritance in the greatest traditions of metaphysics, a universal law of necessary equivalence and symmetry. I hope this will serve as an indication of what metaphysics might become as a divine science in taking on the crucial insights of science and the profundity of religion. The spiritual influences which have shaped nations and influenced history through the ages are a theme of this book. One truth and one way, discovered and not invented, through various approaches, in different environments, and seen from different perspectives. The way in divine metaphysics. Grounds of all being, order of nature, divine source, if it be thy will, so guide our way. Love uniting all, opposites conjoined, very God I pray, every being within you give you praise.